different kind of Friday field this morning because we got Sam Rutherford doing the news and traffic in for Joan Jones. Jones is hanging out with me, Joan Jones.
That's
Joan Jane.
Joan Jane.
John.
Jacob.
Yeah.
The hell is your
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
You know what I mean? You know what you're going to have to do when you're in here?
Yeah.
You're going to have to wear a hi, my name
tag.
is Joan.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
I can do that.
Right on your forehead.
Anyway, Joan is hanging out with me in the studio, and Mason is producing today.
You're stuck with me.
You know what I love, though? First thing Mason launched at me this morning was, well, I don't really want this job. I don't really want
First thing, I waited
I
waited 45 minutes before
It's
I said it.
hey, listen, I know the hours are tough.
I was here till midnight
They're
last night, so it makes it
ridiculous.
a little hard.
You were what?
I was here till midnight last night, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Why don't you just sleep at the station? I don't know why you don't do that. We have
I have
couches.
stuff at home. I don't want to wear the same clothes.
Yeah, we don't want you to
days
wear
in a
the
row.
same clothes either, and a
Yeah,
shower
that's
is
what
a nice
I'm saying.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels nice to be fresh and clean and ready for a new day.
All right, so I've got an idea that could be really cruel or really funny, and I don't know which one it is. This is one of those "Am I the a-hole" moments?
Right, and Mason can help us decide.
Yes.
So this is young Sam Rutherford's first day doing news and traffic. And Sam, I thought it'd be kind of funny to air check you live on the air. So for you folks in radio that don't know what an air check is, it's when the program director brings you into the office and sits you down and actually plays
back portions of
a segment or whatever and says, "You did this wrong. You did this wrong. You
I would do this better."
Oh, yes, yes. Or my favorite, how'd you think that went? That is such a trap.
Oh, for sure, because you don't know if it's going to be positive reinforcement or if it's going to be just a smackdown.
Yeah,
so
you can have a whole folder labeled that, Dan.
So Joan, should we and Mason, and we're going to ask the super texters.
Yeah.
Maybe at 8:35.
Right. Oh, that's good.
At 8:35, we air check because Chris has been a program director. Everyone knows I've been a program director, and you've been in doing news for many, many, many years. But you're not old.
It's a lot of minis, Dan.
I'm sorry.
Right. What am I, 80? Gosh.
So I think that maybe we could air check Sam in real time at 8:35. Should we do that? Maybe pull one of his newscasts?
And traffic, too, because I really like the ending of that last traffic report.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that one for sure.
Good.
You guys are mean.
Sam, we
we're
love
the mean
you.
ones.
Now, in
we're
reality,
I know. Whose idea was this?
I'm going to tell you, in reality, Sam's first 3 newscasts are better than, I would say, every other person that has ever done news for the first time. Sam, you're rocking it. You really are.
You are doing a really good job, dude.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have to find places where he screwed up.
I was about to say, you're going to build me up so you can tear me down later.
That's exactly right. All right, moving right along.
Because you're a part of the WTN family now.
That's right.
Yes, you are.
And this is how we treat family.
Sure is. That's why I've been bruised and battered over the years. Alligator Alcatraz has indeed been ordered to close. An Obama-appointed judge, U.S. District Judge Kathleen Mary Williams, siding with local Native American tribes and the environment. And she's ordering the immediate shutdown. It's got to be shut down, Joan, in 60 days.
Not only that, but she said they have to remove the fencing, lighting, generators, sewage facilities, and other major parts of that facility.
Yeah, it's just got to be completely
cruel.
done in 60 days.
And you want to know why?
Go ahead.
Because the nonprofits, there were 2 nonprofits that sued, and they said that the facility's operations would harm both the wetlands of the Big Cypress National Preserve and the endangered animals like the Florida panther and the Florida bonneted bat.
The bonneted bat?
Yes.
Okay, so here's my question. How would it harm the bonneted bat or whatever that other thing was? The Florida Everglades is huge.
Yeah.
It is massive. So my question is, and this is all in an area that's already been, cleared. I wouldn't say it's developed, but it's on this land, and was already an airport. So I don't see why they're saying this would harm the
Yes.
the lovely...
Well, so they say that runoff from the facility was likely to pollute their home. These are the tribes.
Yeah.
The Muskogee tribe of Indians of Florida joined the lawsuit. They said the runoff was likely to pollute their homes a few miles downstream, and it threatened the plants that are used for ceremonial and medicinal purposes.
So you knew this was coming.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Trump and his administration, they're ready for this. And this is going to be a battle that is going to begin. Florida's Attorney General, by the way, says they will fight back against what they call, and it is, judicial activism. The judge said state officials never explained sufficiently why the facility needed to be in the middle of the Florida Everglades. Well, duh.
Because alligators.
Yes, because alligators.
And sawgrass and all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Yeah, the big snakes and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So, this is unfortunately one of those things that they will battle, and we'll have to see ultimately what happens. But this is judicial activism. And
from an Obama appointee.
Judicial interference from the courts. Obama, again, appointed judge, stopping the Trump administration from holding the worst of the worst in the middle of the Florida Everglades. Now, let's see here. President Trump has now decided that they are going to look at every single U.S. visa holder, and they are subject to continuous vetting with an eye towards any indication that they could be ineligible for the document. Now, I love this. Can I just be honest? I don't really even understand why it is that everybody is freaking out about this, because it seems to me like if you have a visa, you should always be vetted, even once you're here. And if you're on an expired visa, if you've done, anything wrong, broken a law, maybe you have, supported terrorists, that kind of a thing, then yeah, you should be kicked out of the country. I mean, just because you're here doesn't necessarily mean that you get to stay.
Don't we always want the best of the best for our country?
Oh, absolutely we do. Absolutely we do. Now, how does this work, though? I mean, 55 million visa holders?
Right. Don't you need a whole lot of people to go through the file of every single person to see if they've been arrested for something that would be anti-American? Or, if they've got any criminal charges? I would say that would disqualify someone for being in this country.
You would think. And again, before, because, the left is going to start screaming about this. And this is going to, this is going to, again, realize that this will be blocked in courts, and it's just going to be a big legal tangle again. But remember that this is meant to really root out people that are on overstayed visas, people who have supported terrorist groups, people who have, by and large, maybe done something wrong, whatever it may be, some sort of a crime and so forth. And if they've done any of that, well, then no America for them.
Yeah.
They can go. Real quick, I've got some audio to play of Donald Trump coming up next. And also a really interesting conversation that I just saw on CNN. You're going to love this, Joan.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out if Democrats need their own Stephen Miller. As far as your traffic, as far as your weather goes, Joan, you got me all screwed up in here.
Who's shaking what now?
Who are we air checking today? Dan? Or Young Sam?
I think we should flip this.
There is not enough time to air check my performance on a daily basis.
Also breaking this afternoon, the Trump administration is reviewing the records of more than 55 million visa holders in the U.S. for potential deportation violations. This includes checking for visa overstays, criminal activity, and ties to terrorism. If found ineligible, visas will be revoked and holders may face deportation. The State Department says this is all part of their continuous vetting process to ensure safety and compliance.
So I don't see where there's any kind of debate here, Joan. I mean, isn't it obvious that this is something that does need to happen?
It's clear when we finally get to look at it, you peel back the layers that Joe Biden added on to our society, and we get to the bottom of who these people are that came in and the things that they are doing.
Yep.
Vis-a-vis Mohammed, raping a woman on the steps of a church.
Great point. That
And
is a
she
great
later
point.
dies. I mean, these are the kind of people we don't want in our country.
Yeah, and there was the guy in Columbia University. Remember him?
Yes.
Khalil. Was it Muhammad Khalil?
Muhammad.
What was his name? Khalil
Yeah.
Muhammad?
We
Whatever.
just did this morning, and now
We just
neither of us
did. We were
can-
talking about it off the air. Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
But the Columbia University student who was riling up and getting all of those protests going against Israel, pro-Hamas.
Yes.
And they lost, unfortunately, and the Trump administration lost, and he remains in America, and he continues to do the kinds of things that he was doing before. But here's the point. The point is that drives home the point that we were just talking about, Joan.
Yes.
Which is that there will be a lot of legal issues, and this is going to be one of those things that Donald Trump wants to do.
Yeah, if he couldn't get him out of the U.S., what makes
Right.
Donald Trump think that he can get every other person that has, a mar on their record out of the country?
Exactly. All right. Now, just very quickly, do the Democrats need their own Stephen Miller? Now, you folks know who Stephen Miller is, right? He is, I think he's director of policy for the Trump administration. I think that's his official title.
Yeah.
You folks know him as somebody who gets behind a microphone, gets in front of a camera, and he just launches.
Of the National Guard. I think here's the most important point. There are residents who lived in Washington, D.C. their entire lives. Their parents lived here. Their grandparents lived here. And they have lived for generations in intolerable conditions of crime and decay. There are parts of the city, I moved to the city 20 years ago. There are places where I've seen graffiti that has been untouched for 2 decades. There are homeless encampments that have made it impossible for families to use public parks and public recreation for as long as I've lived here.
And so the point is that Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, is that he is a great speaker. He is fearless in the things that he says. And if you try to argue with him, he will just defeat you and defeat you bigly. I mean, that's the kind of guy that he is.
And then spit you out.
And then spit you out. That's exactly right. So he's really good at painting the pictures. He's really good at just going toe-to-toe with the left and destroying them.
There are hundreds of residents of this city who are shot in street violence every single year, making it one of the most violent cities on planet Earth.
But the problem that the Democrats have, because they're trying to figure out, we saw this on CNN, and they're debating whether or not the Democrats and the folks on the left need their own Stephen Miller. And I think the problem that they have is Stephen Miller is speaking the truth. He's got the truth on his side.
Right.
And I don't care how good of a speaker you are or an orator or whatever you want to say, but if you're spewing a bunch of BS and nonsense and lies, then people are going to be able to call you out. Stephen Miller, he's telling the truth. And in the last administration with Biden, I'm trying to think, do they have an equivalent of a Stephen Miller right now on the left? Because the best they could do is cringe at Jean-Pierre, and she was awful.
She's terrible.
But you look at the message givers on the right.
Yeah.
You've got Caroline Leavitt, who is outstanding.
Yeah.
You've got Stephen Miller, who is outstanding. You've got Pete Hegseth. You've got J.D. Vance, of course, who is incredible. And who does the left have? James Carville.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Right. So who is it? Jasmine Crockett? She's not going to have a job anymore soon. So, you know, she might be the person that they front as a spokesperson.
Yeah, but she's a total fraud, and everybody knows that. I mean, we know that she's a fraud, but I don't know who else is there. I'm trying to think. Is there any good person on the left that is able to defend their policies? Because I mean, everybody that I'm thinking of, Keith Olbermann, that dude needs to be in a straitjacket.
Joy Reid has, some free time on her hands too.
She is insane.
Yeah.
I think Joy Reid, honest to goodness, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I think Joy Reid, I think she needs therapy.
Oh, she needs medication and therapy.
Because, and the reason I say that is because everything that she talks about is all comes back to race.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I think that is, there's some mental illness going on in there. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV or the radio, but there's something about her that is just off because she is always, everything is racist, including the ridiculous audio that we played yesterday where she said that, let's see, white people can't or won't or didn't invent anything.
Yeah.
And I, of course, go to, that's what she said. And I went back to, of course, one of the greatest inventors of all time, which was Benjamin Franklin. And, of course, Chris reminded me, what about Elon Musk? Great point.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. But you know what? Super texters. Who would be a good person that would be the equivalent of a Stephen Miller for the left? Who would be able to spew their lies? Now, Barack Obama's out there. But
sure,
I don't know. Does Barack Obama, with today's Democrat Party, does he actually have any credibility with the current insanity that is the left?
I think that he's lost a little bit of the shine.
Yeah.
He's stayed out of the limelight a little bit.
He has.
And then, recently he's been coming back and you're seeing him more and they're rolling him out with Michelle on the podcast and he's just making himself known again. And
it's not working.
I don't think it is.
No. Well, do you know why that is?
It's not going to work for me and you.
Because, he came out and he endorsed, of course, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And look what a train wreck Joe Biden was. So Joan is in my studio now.
You're just not used to having somebody in your studio.
I'm not, but Sam is doing the news today. He's been training all week. Sounds great. And so Joan is hanging out with me in here, and we're having a lot of fun. I'm in the middle of my Glock store commercial. I can hear Joan chewing her crackers. And so I started laughing.
They're crunchy.
They're very crunchy. It's all good. I mean, clearly I can't handle company in the studio. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But I'm glad you're here. We asked about who would be a good version of Stephen Miller for the left, right? Because I saw this whole thing with CNN, and they're talking about how they need their own version of Stephen Miller. And as we were explaining, and I played some audio before the news, that Stephen Miller, he is passionate, he's smart, he's direct. And if you are debating Stephen Miller, you're in for a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And they admit that in the piece with CNN because, if you are in a panel with Stephen Miller and you got a Democrat that's on the other side, well, he just annihilates you. And so they need their own spokesperson. So I asked, and I'm going to go first, and then you've got some on the YouTube chat as well. So here's what some of the super texters said. Stephen Colbert, he needs a gig.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Biden, can you imagine that?
Too many censoring.
We could do like a Daily Dan poll every day. Was Hunter Biden on crack yesterday during that press conference? We could do that.
Yeah.
The answer, yes.
Whoopi Goldberg, AOC, and Jen Psaki. So, and that's just a few of, and one person said John Thune, which I thought was really funny.
I have somebody.
Who?
I think Jon Stewart would make a very good, he could debate very well.
Yep. I like Jon Stewart.
I do too.
I know that he's a leftist and all that kind of stuff. I know. But the thing that I like about Jon Stewart, Bill Maher as well, is that they both have the really good ability to, they have their leftist talking points, but they're not afraid to call out their own party.
They're not. And they're knowledgeable.
They're smart. Yeah.
They're smart. It's not just the talking points. I think they see the world differently than me and you, but they're very intelligent people that are good communicators. And I think that's what you need to go against a Stephen Miller.
Yeah, but again, actually, I'm defeating my own argument. That wouldn't work because in order for them to be effective, they're not going to be, I'm going to have to air quote this, they're not going to be allowed to speak their minds when it comes to certain policies of the left.
Yeah.
Because, Bill Maher, and you've got Joe Scarborough out there as well. So I think there's a certain roster of folks out there in the media that are also Democrats that actually have been calling out their own party. You do have Joe Scarborough. I played that audio for you yesterday. You've got Joe Scarborough. You do have Bill Maher, and you do have Jon Stewart. And so while they do lean left, I also believe that they will tell the truth on their own party. And I think that's kind of critical. I mean, I do that as well. I'll call out the Republicans if I need to. But I don't see anyone who has the strength of a Stephen Miller. Now, there is news today about Kilmar Ábrego García.
Yes.
We all know who he is. Maryland man.
He's Maryland man.
He's Maryland man. That's what he is.
Nice married fellow.
Sure. So he is being released today from a Tennessee jail.
Yes.
Remember, he is awaiting trial on federal human smuggling charges. And he was, I think this whole thing started back in, March? About March?
Yeah, it's been a while.
He was arrested. He was deported. Judges and sources had said that he was an MS-13 gang member. He was sent to that El Salvador prison back in March. And then you had the senator who went to go rescue him.
Oh, yeah, Van Hollen.
Chris Van Hollen.
Yes.
Went to rescue him. He had margaritas.
Margaritas with him.
And then after the whole margarita thing with Senator Chris Van Hollen, we find out that he was a human trafficker.
Yep.
Busted right here in the state of Tennessee. Wife beater as well.
Yep.
So, this guy, and astonishingly, I do find it astonishing that Chris Van Hollen and the left, they still stand by this guy.
They do.
They can't leave it alone.
I know.
So the media made him, of course, a hero. And I've played you the audio 1,000 times. I'm not going to bore you with it again. But his wife she's got a big stack full of complaints against him for abuse.
And even went to a neighbor and said, please help me.
Yep.
My husband is hurting me.
That's exactly right. So now he is being released.
Yes.
And do you know he's actually getting a private security firm? Somebody has hired because it's not him.
Oh, clearly.
Somebody has now hired a private security firm to whisk him back to Maryland. Must be nice.
Well, they're doing that because he needs the protection against the ICE. FBI, ICE,
Yep.
Because literally DHS can take custody of him and deport him again.
Well, and that's what they're going to do.
That when he gets to Maryland.
That's the big question that's the big question. Is ICE going to be there? And are they going to just pick him up and deport him?
So a judge it's not been determined yet whether the judge is going to, there's two separate judges in this case, one here in Tennessee, one in Maryland. It's not determined yet if they're going to order the federal government to give him 48 hours before they deport him. But that was the plan, is that they were going to insist that the government had to wait before they take him away. And
Really?
And I'm not sure if that's to give his lawyers a little bit of time to do something else. Mm-hmm. But these two judges seem to be working in cooperation with one another.
Well, that's what they're doing because you know why this is so important, right? The reason why this is so important is because the Democrats, they have made this their case, right? They've made this their case to hang their hat on. Kilmar Ábrego García, for them, is the case where they're showcasing the evils of the Trump administration and mass deportation. And that's a big issue for the Democrats because for conservatives, we look at this case and we're like, yeah, this guy's a human trafficker. We actually have him on police body cam transporting illegal aliens, a whole bunch of them. And all they had in their pockets was a toothbrush and toothpaste. Mm-hmm. So, clearly, at least to me, guilty.
At least they have tooth care taken care of.
Sure, absolutely right.
Can I just give you some breaking news?
Sure.
Breaking news. Federal agents are right now raiding John Bolton's home in Washington, D.C.
John Bolton?
John Bolton.
The walrus?
Over national security concerns. This has to do with classified records. This is something that is, it's happening right now. I'm watching the video of them Kash Patel tweeted out, "No one is above the law. FBI agents are on a mission." And accountability is finally here.
All right, so
He lives in Bethesda, which is
Maryland, yeah.
yes, right next to Chevy Chase, Maryland. Bethesda is probably the number 2 highest income zip code in the United States.
Breaking news, Joan is letting us know that John. Now, for you folks who don't know who John Bolton is, he was within the Trump administration. I'm trying to remember what his exact role wasn't. He like a national security advisor?
I believe he was
like
national security advisor. Yes.
So, but then he turned into one of the big Donald Trump critics.
Yes.
And so the FBI is raiding his home literally right now in Bethesda, Maryland. And if you watch CNN, and I don't know if he's on MSNBC. Oh,
Are they doing the story now?
You know what? We broke it ahead of CNN.
Nice. I
well
love
done,
it.
Joan
Thank
Jones.
you.
So he's the guy that has the mustache that looks like a walrus. Right?
Yes. Apparently, this has something to do with the book that he wrote. So in 2020, he wrote a book that he included classified documents. He had been accused of including the classified information in his 2020 book called "The Room Where It Happened." President Trump fought to quash the publication of the book over its inclusion of national secrets, saying that Bolton broke an NDA signed as a condition of his employment. President Trump was unsuccessful in that. So he is an ex-Trump advisor, has been at odds with his old boss. We've seen that time and time again on the television, regularly appearing on cable news, criticizing the president's national security and foreign policy. This comes after Patel revealed that former FBI Director James Comey had authorized leaks of classified documents while misleading Congress just before the 2016 election.
You got James Comey. You've got Adam Schiff, also accused of
wrongdoing. That's a mortgage fraud
What
thing.
was the title of the book again?
The Room Where It Happened.
The Room Where It Happened. Yes.
That's okay.
And Adam
Trying to be
Schiff.
very dramatic.
Adam Schiff, when you remember when he was he was leading the Intel committee for the House, and he had authorized the leaking of classified information to try to take down Donald Trump. It was all part of that. So, number one, when are they going to raid the home of James Comey and Adam Schiff?
I'm wondering if that's next.
Well, you know what?
The James Comey thing, that would seem like the logical next step, right?
It would. Mm-hmm. It would. And heads are exploding, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's going after his enemies is what they will say. And we had this conversation before where is he, and I'm going to air quote this, friends, is he going after his enemies or is he cleaning up the swamp? Because if John Bolton, and by the way, Donald Trump warned him. Donald Trump said, we were just talking about that, where Donald Trump said that don't release that book. Don't include that information in your book. There is classified information that is being included in this book. And they do say that he broke that NDA signed as a condition of his employment, but they let him do it anyway.
Here's a funny thing. This gives me a little bit of joy. So it's Fox News that is there with the video cameras this morning. Do you remember when it was CNN outside every FBI raid being informed long before a raid would happen that it was about to go down?
CNN, who was it? Super Texters, help me. There was a Trump, an official or somebody that worked on the campaign trail. They raided his house.
Monta, no.
I don't know. It's not Monta. Let me go to the Super Text line because I know that people know that CNN was tipped off, and they were there right before the FBI showed up to raid his house. What is his name?
By the way, John Bolton was home at the time of this raid.
Was he in like his bathrobe?
I hope so.
I wonder if somebody tipped him off.
He's just standing on the front lawn like Cousin Eddie.
Is he? Roger Stone, thank you. See,
Roger Stone, yes.
We can always count on the Super
Texters. Absolutely.
This is why I love this audience. They
Tulsi
bail us
Gabbard
out every time.
Stripped him of his security clearance, by the way.
Well, she should have.
She should have.
I mean,
clearly.
she should have done that. She should have done that, day one. but he was among the many who did indeed have their security clearance ripped away. And
he was because he was one of the 51 that signed that national security letter
Yep.
about Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yep. So, and I don't know, I for the life of me, and I should ask somebody why it is that they are allowed to keep those national security clearances.
It is crazy.
When they are no longer involved in national security at the federal level. I mean, James Comey, John Brennan, and Clapper, they had their security clearances for far too long.
Yes.
And so then they're commenting on all of that Russia collusion stuff that they themselves had put in play. And so they're commenting on something where they absolutely darn right well know that they were lying, that they were lying. And now we know how dishonest they were in all of those various TV interviews as well. So anyway, this is a ongoing conversation.
Yeah, John Bolton most recently said that President Trump looked very tired and that Vladimir Putin clearly won the summit.
He's full of crap. I'm just going to say John Bolton is full of crap.
Yes.
Yeah, and so and I guarantee you, liberals are saying, oh, he's going after his political enemies. He's not. He's cleaning up the swamp.